Okay, guys, now here, this is, just going to carry on with this one here. So here's our contracted path, or our shrunk path. And if you want to go back in and clean this up, you can. I'm just noticing that the cut here didn't really go all the way through. So there's a few ways you can get rid of this. You can use a pen tool. Sometimes, I mean, what I do, and I'm kind of old school this way, that I'll create a shape like this because I want it to do that. Kind of blob it out like that, and I'll overlap. Select the two together, hold Shift, select, click, and Pathfinder, and subtract the top shape. So that cleans that path up. Again, a bunch of ways you can do that. You can use the knife tool, you can there's a way you can use the erase tool. Anyways, I'll let you guys figure that one out, or maybe we'll get that one later on. Other than that, the path looks pretty good. I'm noticing in here, at the top of the shoe, some issues here. So let's take this down a little bit so we actually have some space. And I'm just using the direct selection tool for this. Just marquee that area, bring that down, and I can lock that shape, Command 2 or Object Lock, really handy thing. I use that lots. Instead of creating layers, what I'll do is I'll actually just lock a shape or a segment or a point, and it just saves a ton of time. Okay, so there you got a little bit more space on the top for some wording, and get back out of preview mode, and here we go. So we're going to fit in our first word. So now, like I said before, if you use the mesh with top shape, and you can see how I'm building outside the artboard now. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with. Oops. Let's just unlock. This object was locked, so I actually went to Object, Unlock All, and I can access that. Okay. Anyways, what I was saying was we're going to take this, we're going to duplicate, Option Drag. Again, don't feel that you have to be confined to the artboard. I usually put my final piece in the artboard. And as I'm working, I build around. And if you get into that habit, you're doing great. That's a good thing. So again, I duplicate, and I'm going to go in. And now, so instead of doing that technique, let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to rotate my type. I'm going to go to Envelope Distort, Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Mesh. Okay. Now you can add or take away columns to this. I'll keep it like that for now. So you got 4 columns and 4 rows. And so what you can do there is you can actually go into preview without looking at the letters. I can manipulate these points. Now it's a little bit of work, but it's definitely a big payoff because you're going to see how good it looks in comparison. Now I can grab multiple points at once. If you grab another object, you can just deselect. There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring these points up. So I'm following the contour of this. Now I know in Adobe Creative Suite or Illustrator CC 2014, or Creative Cloud, there's these new tools that you can use to do this a little bit faster. They're inside of the Transform tool, and I would recommend you use those. But if you don't have an upgraded version, or if you're used to using the old technique, or you just want to use this technique, by all means, you can do that. So there you go. There's the alley-oop. Now what you see is just a grid. So this isn't truly vectorized yet. It's kind of in between. It's kind of in between its editing stage and vector, but it's not quite there yet. So if you want to convert it to a full vector, you have to go to Object, Expand. Okay, and you can select Object and Fill. And there you go. Now you can change the color, because before with this, you can't adjust anything because now you're confined to the effect. Okay, so until you convert it to a full vector. Okay. So let's actually colorize that and take that away for now. Okay, so let's go grab another word. Again, I'm going rather quick here. I want you guys to take your time with this so that you get contours in the O's properly, and I could have done that, but for demonstration reasons, I'm going to just kind of speed through this. Let's grab another word for this one. We'll get take this one. I like full court press. And we're going to bring that down. Paste that over top. And we're going to size it up to fit somewhat that shape. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. Now this is going to be a little tricky because it's got kind of an oblong contour to it, but it'll still turn out good. Okay, so now at this point you want to go into your type menu, create outlines again, so you'll be able to manipulate this properly, and then go back to Object and make with Mesh. Okay, and I'm going to stick with 4 and 4. Okay, so we're going to size that up a bit, just using my scale tool. And let's try rotating and scaling a little bit, and stretch a little bit. Okay, so there's no perfect answer to this. It's just kind of like you're massaging the type. All right. Okay, so now, again, before you, I was going to expand the output. What you can do is go to preview mode. Again, let's view preview. Sorry, I'm using shortcuts all the time here. But you guys have probably picked up on that by now. And we're going to take these points with our direct selection tool. Make adjustments. Now, if you're kind of going, well, I can't even see what you're doing, and that doesn't make any sense, then work in the other mode. And I would recommend that as well. Okay, so whatever works for you. This is actually going better than I thought. And in this view mode, I can see it a lot better by adjusting points and Beziers. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Because anytime you take a shape like that, you know, you're squeezing it. So you want to manipulate without doing too much damage to the look of the overall look of the letters. So yeah, so we'll go with that. And again, let's either put that background shape on another layer, or let's delete it if you've got a duplicate shape on top like I do. We'll go back and colorize everything at the end. Now, if you find you get to a shape like this where you've got a really big scoop there, you can always split that up into another object, or try to create some type of artwork there. Or two sets even here, you might want to split. So let's go ahead and do that. Go back to the knife tool, select this. I like that knife tool because it keeps that contour the same when you use it. Look at that, that's pretty cool. So turn that into two words, do the Nike swoosh, and the rest of these. So I'm going to pause the video there and complete this in the background. I'll come back in the next video and we'll do final touch-ups. All right. Woohoo! Illustrator rocks.